screen.
All right, we're good whenever you're ready.
All right, so futures are slightly up. So we'll start from NQ and then we'll work our way. First, what you usually want to do, you want to look at the bigger picture. I was drawing some demand zones earlier today, so we can start. Well, actually, I don't want to start from the beginning. So what I did here is I grabbed these lines here. I just drew this line because this line here will be respected. And how do you know that? Well, it was a start here, had a tap. The pre-COVID highs hit that and rejected it. We came here, we bounced. Now you're looking at a level. So if I go in on like 45 minutes, this is the level. You see the white line here? That's the level that I'm looking at. In case it rejects here. If you can catch that, Drew.
Already handled.
Thanks. And then what I'm looking for is in case we kind of go short here, if we reverse here, which I don't think we will, I'm expecting a bounce all the way to this about 13,100. But this week sometimes, and I don't know what's going to happen. FMOC, I believe, is Wednesday. I have a full calendar. I'll post it afterwards. But I'm expecting a little bit of a run. So as you guys can tell, we had if you look at, let's say, 4 hours, we have the lower high set in here, right? So you have the higher high, we hit the VPOC area on the money. Then you're basically, this was the easiest short probably we could ever have taken, and that's what we talked about before. It came back into the zone, right, of the indecision you see here, and it came back right into it, and then it dumped. And then you see here again, you had this demand zone, and it did the same thing. You had the indecision here, it came back, tapped very close to it, and then it just kind of keeps doing that, right? So you had indecision here, and here it goes, poop, poop, lower high. Here it trapped some people maybe. Well, maybe it didn't. It didn't trap anyone. So there's a rejection here. Now you had a rejection as well here. Let me make sure we get it. So this was the level, the high, but this is your indecision right here. And you see how well that worked. So now you're looking to see what we're going to do. And to me, it looks like we're getting a bounce here. So if you look at it on the weekly chart, on the weekly chart, you see where we are right now. So to me, this looks like to be almost like a perfect head and shoulders right now. So if I was to go, I don't know why my tools are not grabbing. So you had a head and shoulders right here, but I think if you go and you treat it this way, you guys see it now? I think there's a potential to get a bounce here because there's multiple lines. You guys see this? There's a line here that's respecting, and then there's the bottom one from all the way pre-COVID. Not thinking we're going to get a bounce here. And then the typical stuff, right? What we do is, obviously here you have a nice break on the consolidation, right? So the way I would play this is probably a break and a retest of these levels. So if we go here, so this is the level that we are looking, right? So the first rejection will probably come at the new supply that was created here, which kind of matches to what we have in this area here. So you can expect probably a run, probably around, what is this, 13.6, best case scenario. And if you see weakness here, that means, you're going to be rejecting here and taking another short, because this would be your previous low high. So this level here, 13,000, and then 13.1 becomes super important. And then if you add your indicators, is this the one that I used there? So if you just do this and then kind of take a look at what's going on in terms of supplies, right? So you have a double XPOC here. So this zone is going to be really, really strong when we start going up. So you can expect some rejections around here. This looks to be right around here. So this will be a nice supply once we start moving. Which I don't know when that's going to be, but let's see. So this will be a nice rejection here. Let's see, that's the POCs that I marked here. So this looks to be really, really strong as well. So as you guys can tell, we have a lot of overhead building up here, right? And then here's your value area highs and lows. So there's a lot of rejection here waiting a bit between 13 and 13.1. It's going to get really choppy, but there's a chance we jump about 200 points. Maybe tomorrow, because we might. When is FMOC? Does anyone know a sure date? Nobody?
I thought it was Tuesday, but I'm not positive.
Yeah,
I
I
can-
think it's at 2 o'clock. The minutes come out, and I think 2:30 he speaks.
Okay. So I'm expecting a bounce tomorrow, and then we'll watch the 13,000 level here, along with the, just the trend line here. Rejection would be ideal if we get it. Somewhere around here would be a pretty good rejection to take it off of. If we get that push and then look for a rejection down, and then, if it takes these lows out, then we get a little bit more room on that. Okay, so ES, let's see how we doing there. And if you guys look at the monthly, I mean, may go away. I don't know. Has anyone heard that before?
And sorry, Shorty, FMOC is Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah. Typically, usually Wednesdays is the days. So this is your monthly, what does it look like to you guys?
Bull flag.
Big old bull flag.
Well, look, as much as you guys think we're dipping, we're not that bad. I mean, when you think about it, right? So from all-time highs, only 14%, guys. That's nothing. Yeah, that's not a big deal, to be honest. That's still nothing. The drop that we had here in March was 36%. So people freaking out thinking that this is a big deal now. The big deal is, what is this? Starts right here. If you're able to break this right here, this is where you're going to get a little bit of a problem. The 14,101 breaks, easy short 4,000. This time is not going to save, and nothing is going to save it. So probably about 13.9, which we'll find the level anyways. But you guys see, that's not a major pullback. So if you think about this pullback here that we had, this was 21% right here. And so this would be, what would this be? I'm just grabbing like recent highs and finding like the pullbacks. And you guys see, this is, I mean, it's bad, but it's not that bad. So let's see what we got here, 12. Yeah, so about 12%, 12, 21, 36, 10, and now we're about 15%, and then you had a little pulley here as well. About 6% here, so nothing major, honestly. I still think I think there's a lot more fear now, fear mongering and news that they're using for people to sell off, so that way they can manipulate you and get your shares for a lot cheaper. So at least that's what I think. I think eventually you're going to get a lot of buying at some point where you won't be able to catch some of the runs that they're trying to go after. So I'll definitely watch that. Let's see here, weekly. So if you go on the weekly chart, I would care about this level right here, and yeah, that would line up well with this bounce as well right here. If you guys look, this is our monthly trend line, and if it happens, that would be, doesn't that add up nicely here? This would be a pretty decent level for a drop because everybody would expect a 3,900 and drop, a bounce. I think they would, lure more people in and then go reverse. But then you can also draw, what am I on a weekly? You have this pattern here as well. So just keep that in mind. But I like the monthly option of the bars right here. So this is our, if I switch it, so you guys know. This is my monthlies, right? I'll just remove this. Okay, and then I'll look at the daily, see how we're doing there. So the daily, I mean, if you're gonna short here, there's a high chance, you wanna, this would be the break of structure here. And it could be, is there anyone seeing anything that could be making here?
Looks like a head and shoulders.
Yeah, this is a left shoulder here. And then you're looking at it right here. There's your head. So it could be that this is your left shoulder, right shoulder in the making, and then maybe we go up to here somewhere. And then, you want to pay attention to this level. But now if you look at it, right, so we have 14,303, and then when you go in 4 hours, what we're looking for is this candle, right, that kind of started off the selling. So you have an indecision handle here, then you have a lower high being accumulated here. So it's almost like you have a little mini supply right about here that you would expect this if it's going to run. It goes to about 4,280, so it makes a lower high, and then we get a nice dump here all the way to our area of 13.9. So let's see what we do. I mean, there's a little bit of a supply here, a mini supply here. You guys see it? And if you insert VPVR, look at that. You guys see how well that one highlighted here? Whenever there's an indecision candle, there seems to be a lot of volume. And look right here. Maybe a little bit more here, but then here you have a couple of indecision candles, and there's a POC being built up. Okay, so let's see now on 30 minutes, we'll add. Okay. So there's a VTOC right here. And you guys see how strong this supply is going to be moving forward. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 in this area. And then you go to the left, there's a little bit more. So this is going to be a really, really tough zone to get through once we start moving up. All right, there's that POC we highlighted from earlier, if you guys remember. This will just be a POC. I just don't know where is this volume coming from here. Oh, maybe there. Yeah, that could be this one here. 14,256. Okay. And then this is yes, or not yesterday, sorry, Friday's POC. Because it looks like it's kind of accumulating here, if you ask me. And this would be a nice level to take a long to. Right here, this POC. I'll keep this one here for a second. Because this is a 2x POC, you guys see that? This 2x is gonna trump this guy here any time of the day. So for me, if you're gonna go long, they'll be around here somewhere. They'll be about 41.50, you know, to fish and go long. All right, so these would be the levels that I'm watching. And then, you know, there's something you can't ignore. Hopefully everybody by now is able to see that. So don't ignore the flags. Right? And as you guys know, this is not worth the reward right here. So it's better to wait to take that previous lower high. And I guess that the supply zone came from this guy right here. That was it. Yeah. Okay. So any questions on this? So that's our short. So we have our VPOCs and POCs lined up below. Obviously, this would be our target if we go short, about 4,000 obviously first, just psychological level. But then the bigger picture, right, would be that we get the bounce in that area right here. So it'd be that line or this line here. Okay. So looks good. Let's check SPY. Oh, this is how I played SPY for past couple of days. You guys see this zone right here? Let me just remove all of it so you guys can see it. It was basically drawn in 65 minutes here. And look at that. Does anyone see any potential entries you guys could have used here? Now I can see at least 5. Okay, so we had the supply zone, right? And then you had an easy short here. You guys see this? What is this? When this happens, this is your easy money, guys. Your shorting levels become, if you want to go. So the best thing you can do when this happens, let me go back so that way you guys are not like, hey, well, you're cheating now. The best thing you can do is this. Because you have this candle, or you can even go off of this candle here. And now watch. When it taps the top of the line, somewhere here, you look for a short opportunity. So it tapped here, broke below it. This was your shorting candle. And then you stayed in because your stop loss should be somewhere around here, about 430. And then you stayed in and you drove it all the way down. And if you guys remember, I think it was Friday before last Friday. Or we did it during the Sunday where I said that we were setting up for a down like 390 when it was going to about, the 430 run here. When it hit it, I think we had a POC here, if I remember, on the dot. At least I did. It was 430.07. That I had a POC there. I don't know if anyone else did.
Yeah, 430.05.
05, yeah, something like that. So we had a POC that was maybe just kind of like right here, or a little bit, it was higher. It was 430. We had a POC there, so it was beautiful short, honestly. And it dropped that day about 4 points. That single day hit off of the VPOC dropped, 4 or 5 points, so that was good. This is POC, Friday POC. So we have this one here, and then, wow, what time did this candle come in? Okay, so this is still a epoch here, guys. So this is epoch. I'll just mark it that we hit at ETH. So you have that, and then here's, I mean, it gets a little choppy. Obviously, we've been in choppy waters for a little bit. People think we're falling pretty hard. We've been since April 22nd, we've been in between 430 and 415. That's pretty tight, if you ask me, right? But I don't think we're trending yet. So let's see what we can do here. Let's just check weekly for a second. Man, it is in dangerous waters here. So if you look at the weekly, right, I mean, it has 403 next. I mean, from just price levels, 404, and isn't there a gap there? Yeah, there's a gap. So this would be your gap kind of, and usually buyers show up there, right? But yeah, this looks like it's gonna be potential bounce. But let's see. Let me just make sure it's still the gap. Yep, that's the gap zone. Oh, okay. So I mean, obviously, if we take this out, just previous low here, 410.64s are, break the structure here, short. This for a second. This.
Sorry, is that short there at 410.64?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This can go many ways. I mean, ideally, this would be a nice bounce here at 404. So let's see what we do. Yeah, so we still have a nice bear flag here. I'm not trying to remove these. So, yeah, I think we might get a run to this level here. Yeah, I think we might get a run to this. All right, so any questions on SPY on the plan, or are you guys still digesting? So this would be my plan, honestly. If it breaks even this 417, then I would look for the rejection around 422, or even the 420.53 level, which will probably be a rejection if I'm just looking here. But that, I'm not trying to predict. I'm just putting the levels and let them do the talking here. So, and it looks like it has the more space here because there's some resistance here at 415, but once it breaks that, it might have a clear shot. Just, for $2 and then $5 to 420. Okay. We'll do Qs. All right, let me just remove this. Wow. Okay, well, Qs are taking a beating. So, good thing you can do when something's falling like this, what I suggest you guys do is look up some fibs, right? For instance, I grabbed the swing low from here. Let me enable the 1 in 100 so you guys can see it. And then this one becomes very important too. So if you guys look at the fibs, this was my 100, this was my move here. I'm just trying to predict, where is the support off of this move? And it looks like, hate these colors, I'm sorry, but let's see. Is it blurry for anyone or just me? Seems like it's not clean.
Yeah, it's a little blurry.
Sorry, the dark. Maybe I just go black. I think it's better this way for you guys or not?
About time. We don't see that bright ass white background.
Let's see. I just have to switch these to white. All right, you guys convince me. I'll be on black background from now on. All right, so here's our, fibs. So I'm looking at a 286 is still our level. From the fibs perspective, and then you have the 60 on 8 and the 258, which, me personally, I would buy shares of Qs at this level, but that's just me. And then, if it dips to 217, that's okay. I can manage that drawdown, but, if it goes to 164, then that's a different story. Then I'm in trouble. But here was the previous zone. You guys see it? So would not be shocked if we do come back to about 200 level here. And then, if you treat this as consolidation zone, this was a test, this was a pop. Usually they like to bring it back to the bottom here, so which would be another $100 drop on this, right? Then if you look at the weeklies, let's see if there's a swing. I mean, this is the cleanest swing so far. But if we do from here to here, there's a little cluster here. Yeah, it looks like 290s are coming. Yeah, most likely it looks like 290s. I'll keep these fibs here for a moment. This is my weekly here. So it looks like we're headed for the 300 level for sure. You guys see this consolidation here? Just make sure you mark it, because we're going to come back to this soon. And you can expect what to happen here. Most likely a rejection. And it looks like.
If it breaks out, would you recommend going long only after a retest?
Say it again.
If it breaks that area, like, would you recommend to go long only after there's a retest of that area?
Oh yeah, only a retest it. Definitely retest. So it looks like to me that we'll probably headed to retest this area here. Yeah, it looks like we're headed to this area right here. And if that fails, yeah, so it looks like 300, 296. If 300 fails, then we are headed to 86. Now we'll just go on 65 minutes, see if there's anything we can. Very nice. And there's a little bear flag. All right, so we got that one. And a lot of these are going to be constant bear flags. Maybe we can make a channel out of this one. Trying to find where it danced the most. Looks like right here. This. Yeah. So that would be the case. That would make 296 a really, really good area to go for. Like in that area, if that happens, it would make it really, really juicy to 296. And it depends on the FOMC meeting. If they're kind of like hawkish or whatever, and they want to increase 75 points, well, you're going to be in trouble. Here's our VPOC. Let's change the text to that one. So this is going to be a rejection for sure. So that 320 is going to be brutal on twos. And then it looks like 327 if it does break that. Okay. No, I like this guy. What's our story here? So we really wanted over, 316, kind of gain this level here, gain the 316, and then go up, and then you have a high chance of 320, which would be a nice rejection, probably waiting. Let me just confirm. Yeah, I mean, at 320, you're getting accumulated TOC right here. So there's a high chance if you're able to kind of go here, we're going to go to 320. Then if we break that, then we get 327, which I don't know. We might run into the FMOC meeting, so. Okay. Any questions on this, or is everybody clear on the plan? We are watching the bear flag, right? Don't ignore this, right? I'm sure you guys are seeing it, but I would wait for this to break versus, something else like that. Definitely wait for this short. It's not worth this risk right here. So if you guys see it, I'll delete this. This is what I would short. Unless this starts going up, sideways up, and you can connect more than 2 dots, then, we can connect it and see. For intraday scalps, you can definitely use this level here. And this one, usually you can color green because it's usually going to get a bounce, but, the market hasn't been bouncing much, to say the least. So let's see. Sorry. I should cut that one. Draw a new one. And then we'll just watch it. And then, if this gets up to here and this one is cornered, then it's an easy short all the way to about 4 or 5 points. So we'll watch that. Okay. So any questions on this?
Nope.
Making sense? And then maybe something catching rockets if you want to, if you want to do it, it's up to you. Maybe devote if you're ready for it. If not, maybe we can do it next time. Devote like 10-15 minutes. If you have any good looking full cents, because you became a master of them. So if you want to do that, if not, that's okay.
Yeah, I haven't looked at anything yet due to work.
Okay.
But
yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, I'm down. I mean, I post all of them when I can, but on the weekends it's pretty impossible for me to look.
No worries. So we covered SPY, QES, and Q. So then, our standard suspects, right? So we do. Let's look at AMD. Okay, so I posted this on my Twitter, I believe. I think I did. So the 85 level here, if you want to call it 85, pretty important. I guess 8402. We came back. So if you're able to take this out, probably room to about 73 here. So I was just interested to see where this lines up.
AMD has a full send to take over 86.
So this looks pretty interesting here. You look at it on a monthly. You guys see that now? I just cleaned it up a little bit. I got 1, 2. I mean, this is pretty freaking clean. I honestly think we're going to get a stronger relief bounce. Because remember, sometimes they do the opposite, right? What does everybody know about May? Right? Everybody in there, May go away. Everybody knows it. So, there's probably a high chance. How do you throw it off? Well, bring a lot of fear and catch people sleeping on it, and then you go long. Remember, they're notorious for stuff like that. I'm just gonna do something real quick. I don't need this. So we're still in a nice channel, right? So obviously, if you're gonna go long, you really need this taken out. You need this to be taken out completely. And if you look, this level has been pretty important here. So just price action wise, this is your level to go long. 91.64. So you want to take it above it, and then you're looking for the next high. This is where you sell. So you have a little bit of supply at 95, so most likely, you would get out at 95, and then you have some rejections right here, and then we'll check it out on our real supply and demand. And let me go to regular hours. So this is, if we get a bounce here, which we probably will tomorrow, watch this level on AMD. I'm telling you this because I know AMD pretty well. Watch AMD when it hits this level tomorrow. Like, just keep an eye on it because this might just explode. I would definitely watch this right here tomorrow. What's it? Yeah, I would definitely watch this. But let's see what our VPOC say. They say the same shit. So this is our let's say it's VPOC. There's another VPOC here, which if we get a bounce, is there anyone willing to bet on this, where it goes if we bounce here? I'll bet at Starbucks coffee. I know Rayan's not on, but he usually sends me coffee.
Go to 91.
It would go here to 88.46. You have almost a double perfect POC here. You see it? I can't. It's actually the same exact POC. Like it. I'm pretty sure tomorrow, if we are somewhat in a bouncing area and we're trying to go make a little higher level, we are going to 88.46. I would pretty much bet my life. Because that's the psychology that they're playing, right? Get a bounce, $3 move. And if you get a rejection here, which would be about noon, that we would get a rejection here for some reason. And then if it still keeps going, then it has a potential to, and you guys see this POC here as well. So you have 89, and then you have this rejection here. I would call it 89.73. Yeah, I would trust this one a little bit more just because it's psych level as well, about 90. So this is our POC. And this is our Friday's VPOC. And then honestly, these levels above, the way you play a channel is you mark the peaks, the tops. For instance, like this one would be your next level, but you do have a POC here, which is at 94, close to 95. So this becomes a POC as well. I just wish it didn't break this right here. Yeah, see that? I just wish it was above it now, but it's not. Okay, so I'll hide this. Anyone confused on AMD? It's fairly simple on this one. This can go two ways. It could go from this indecision candle, and you can kind of get a better slope, a little bit less risk, and then play that break right here, or play the bottom with a tight stop loss, maybe somewhere around 83.5. So 70 cents risk here, and then look for long. Or if we see that we're bleeding, then we just play the bear flags and we go down. So the next level down, as we said, would most likely, if we break 85, I mean, yes, we have some, minimal support here, 80. There's 78. Look at the daily real quick. So there's some support at 82 here, and then 79.21, and then all the way down to the bottom here to the demand. which might be where they want to take this, because this went to 165. If they buy at 73, they know they can easily double their money, right? And this has a really, really nice channel now being set up. So this would be a big boy channel here.
Oh, Shorty earnings. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, earnings on Tuesday.
On AMD?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that changes things a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that changes. How did any of these semis do on earnings? Is Nvidia earnings too?
I hate it when I chart a bunch of crap and then I look down and the next day there's earnings.
Man, this is a nice bear flag on Nvidia here too. You guys see it? Obviously.
Clear as day.
There's a bear flag on Nvidia. This looks pretty good, man. That looks pretty nice. Is there a pattern for a bear flag? Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty good. I know people thought I was crazy when I told them the video was going to go below 200. And they're all attacking. No way, man. The video has a strong demand. Sure. There was your strong demand here.
Where would you plan to add it, like if you had to add it?
Shares wise, that's right here. This is where it's headed. Remember, I think I said this before. 150 is my target for Nvidia for shares. So it's same pattern, guys, right? So they accumulated, they gave you a little fake test, right? If you guys started reading the book, the Anna Cooling book, this is called a test. And then they took it again, they created another demand zone here. So this is called reaccumulation right here. And then you can expect it to hold up to like 178.80. If that breaks, you get a drop to 150. And that's pretty much guaranteed it's going to know. So this was your selling climax right here. So if you come back and go from here, this is your selling climax here. So 288. And you guys see how well we bounced off of this demand zone and we went where? Right into the top of the selling climax and we rejected that one. So fairly simple when you look at it, post data, post this, but this is not hard to look at even prior, right? So what I would expect if we lose this bottom right here, the bottom of accumulation or reaccumulation. So 178.23 is lost. You have an easy short. Like you have a super easy short. I mean, even, I don't know when the earnings are, but seems like we always get a run up to the earnings. So let's see, here's the earnings here. Look at the run up we got, and then we got the sell off. Now it's reversed, right? You're getting a sell off into the earnings. Does that mean we're going to blow out the earnings? I don't know, right? Something to consider. If you use, there's the fib extensions here. What am I looking at? There it is. So you go from here to here. This is your deadliest you can use for your extensions, right? So, below 180, 131, you have the 0.786 fib, and then you have some fibs lining up here to be around the bottom of this range, about 100. And I am pretty sure there will be a lot of buyers on the video at this level. Like, at this level, I don't know who wouldn't add some shares on the video. So that'd be a pretty significant level. So just keep an eye on that, on this one here. You guys know how to use, you could use this on 5 minutes. You guys can use this as your stop loss. So let me chart something that I don't have charted. So if you look at, let's say 15 minutes works the best. You can use these as your stop losses, right? When you're trading, like if you use fib extensions. So let's say if you're going up here, and let's say you want to go long, you want to go short, I'm sorry, and you're like, man, I'll go short on a rejection of 61.8. Well, then if you're using this 0.786 as your fib, you can definitely use that and slightly above it as a stop loss. And then as you're creating, let's say you create a new high or something, and you're like, man, what's the next level that it could reject? You could just move it to the next high and see, where's the potential rejection coming off of your fibs here. But here, this one seemed to work pretty well here, right? So I went, previous low to the high to the low, and it's telling me where it's rejecting, and it's hitting on a dot every time. You can use this many different ways. It's a cool tool to have in your pocket. Let's see, Tessie. So I don't know if he's done selling or if he's going to be able to sell some more, but yeah, he's been he sold a lot of Tesla here last couple of days. Okay, let's see. So what do we have here? I mean, it looks like a shit show chart. Doesn't have much going on. So that would be the nice area for a bounce, which is $120 away. Since we broke this, this will be a nice demand zone here. So let's see, 30 minutes. And right on the money. And this will be a really tough level for it. Coming back, I guess 1,000. It won't be easy to get over. So it looks like the 900 level will be super duper important. Yeah, so the 850 might be a nice bounce. Let me see what this area 840 to 850 will be a nice bounce. Most likely 840. Let me see when we accumulate more data. You guys see the belly here? If you wanted to short this, look at the VPOC right here. How many of you would consider buying shares, or would you buy shares at 700 on Tesla?
No, thank you. 536.
Okay. If we are able to break this 756, there's a high chance that you're going to go retest. Do you guys see anything that you should retest here? I just want to check. You guys see this candle here? No, that one.
Yep, that's right about where I would be adding on.
Yeah, we can add there. And then if you're super patient and we see more blood.
460.
Yeah, this would be a great range to add right here. So yeah, these would be the levels to play tomorrow. And then we'll just hide a bunch of stuff here. Oh, my eye is itching so much. I guess this pollen is still kicking my butt. And yeah, there goes that. Nice trend line for a short. Let's see what we do here. I mean, ideally, if you want to short, where should you short? You can short here, 860, but ideally, if we have a a bounce, you want to look at it somewhere around here for a shorting opportunity. Does that make sense? Why?
I mean, you have good risk to reward there.
Really, really good risk to reward. I mean, it's a psychological 900. You're looking at, potentially if you catch that 900, you have a $30 risk. And, where should you put your stop loss here? Just looking at the data on 10 minutes. Maybe I'll give you 45 minutes so you can look at it. If you short here, what is your stop loss?
For me, it would be that indecision candle, like I guess on your chart. No, not there. I mean, that works, but the one that lines up with the green trend line. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah. Yep.
I would probably do somewhere around 913 because I know the way Tesla moves. So I would just look for keeping tighter stop on it so it doesn't really destroy me. And then if you look at this, this is 45 minutes. Usually a good chart to keep an eye on. And you guys see what happens here? So we have multiple trend lines. And, these trend lines work, guys. So you have a trend line coming down here. This one here is probably not the strongest one because you're falling down, but you can definitely use it. So if you wanted to, you could do something like this. You see that it works. It's rejecting. So if it breaks this, you can play 860 to 900, which is no brainer not to play it, right? If it breaks this, you go take it. And then you see this, you have a 45-minute trend line. You had a bear flag here that worked. So I would not be surprised if that area comes in and becomes a rejection point on Tesla before Wednesday. I am thinking, and I'm not trying to create bias for you, they're going to have good news on the Fed rates. Here's my reasoning why. When we enter a recession, what does the government do? Okay, let me.
They sell bonds, right?
They sell bonds, but when what's his name, Obama took office, what did he do with the auto industries? And I recall that in 2010, he bailed out a lot of auto industries. He gave a lot of deals, a lot of money back. People like Elon Musk, as much as you love him or hate him, but he got a lot of government buybacks, right? I mean, a lot of credits were given. So usually when the economy starts entering recession, the government is not as hawkish as you might think. They flip the side and they create more liquidity. If you bring liquidity in the market, that means they're going to start buying. Therefore, the market will go up. And a lot of newbies are like, yeah, man, this is bad. Why are we not going down? Well, you can't fight the government because it's a monopoly game. If you've ever played Monopoly game, who wins all the time?
One with the money.
No, the bank always wins. Even you with the money, if you don't have money for a payment, you lose that property, you lose the hotel, you lose all of those if you don't have the taxes, right? You have to liquidate your assets. But the bank never runs out of money, which is the same thing for government. They never run out of money. They can just print more. So when it needs, they can print it. So I think they're going to flip the picture very soon here. And a lot of people are very, very bearish. They're looking at those, levels and 400, 350. But I think soon they're going to flip the page. And the war is going to end. Here, I'll give you a date. The war is going to end 11th or 12th of May. You can pin this or tag me when it happens. And if anyone asks why, I'll give you a scenario why this has to end this month. It has to be made that the war is done in Ukraine. Because you know what's in November?
Harvest?
Huh?
Harvesting like the crops? Or?
The World Cup is in November and December. You guys remember that?
No.
Huh?
No idea.
Do you guys see these numbers?
Just 80 billion.
Just in projects to host. What's this? Do you guys think that the mafia of the soccer does not have any influence in the world? You guys are wrong if you don't think so. How much revenue does $4.8 billion so just for UEFA it made $5 billion, $2.6 billion profit, almost 50% margin. They can do a lot of lobbying with this. And then what else gets impacted? Just think about, guys. Just think about the complexities of canceling a World Cup and the impact it would have. I mean, have you guys looked at Qatar, what they're building? They're building stadiums with AC units. Well, Qatar as a country, I don't think they have AC that much, right? People are used to the heat. And even if they do, all those parts have to be supplied somewhere. You want to fly to Qatar, you have to use airlines, right? And how come all of a sudden, hey, COVID's gone, I'm sorry, but now the mask mandates are what? On flights are removed. There's no more mask mandates. So for me, I'll be bullish airlines right now because people are going to fly. Crazy amount of people are going to fly to Qatar in December. So like Q1 of 2023, if you want to buy leaps on like Jets or Delta or any airlines, this is your time. Just giving you suggestions. You can thank me later. Hopefully it makes sense. Maybe I'm wrong. This is just me speculating, but it just looks like to be a really good setup for long. I saw this on Twitter. Honestly, don't even know who posted it. I watched John Deere, I believe, because of Flipper. He got me introduced to it, but to me, this is probably the best bear flag I've seen in a while. So, and if you guys look at it, if it does break this level here, I would say 375-ish. If you want to play this, less risk is to do what? Probably play this guy right here, which should be about 372.19. So 375, 372, you can play it. There's just not a lot of meat on that. So if you want to wait for the 372, you definitely pull that trigger on this. And I mean, it looks more safer to go below 370 than anything once you turn on the volume profile, doesn't it? And it lines up perfectly here. So, I mean, where do we close? 377. So I'll probably do 375 short to 370, and then if 370 breaks, I would roll them. Or if you make money in the first trade, you roll it down into the 360s. And they have earnings coming up sometimes in May. So I think this is the last push down before kind of explode back up, potentially for earnings. But this would be a nice demand zone. And then the reason why I switch, as you guys know, I like to see the volume. So now if I add, I know this is an important volume here, and I'll just add this POC here because this is considered a POC for it, 357. And then I like to look at it and be like, hey, how's volume when you do this? And you guys look at this 30 minutes. I mean, it's gorgeous. So there's potential that you're going to push all the way to 385. And if you, I don't want to only look at the short side. If you're able to break 380, you have a chance, $5 chance right here, 385 POC. So let's see, where's this guy? And look at this. Look at the POC right here. You guys see that? 1, 2, 3 inside of that cloud, and that's how the shelf was created. So what this tells you is if you have 3 days of consolidating, you're creating a major shelf on a VPVR, visible range profile here. So that's fairly important to know, because if you look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, well, what happens when you break this level? Well, if you break this level here, I'm talking about this level here, look, 413 got broken and it literally dumped from it, because what is there? Nothing there. It's called skinny belly. So we dumped. Now, if you're able to break this 370, you're getting into this 357 range, because this level here, the 362 that I marked earlier, is just a candlestick. It's the bottom. Honestly, and you guys know by now, I don't really care for bottom unless I'm looking at some weekly charts. Not a lot of us are leap swingers or buy $1 million worth of shares. It's different when you play shares versus options. Totally different game, strategy, movements. Everything's different. You're trying to make sure that your risk is a lot tighter on options than here, because you have theta, right? And option shares, you don't. Most people say, if you didn't sell it, you didn't lose it. I disagree. If you're down, you lost your money. But that's just me. So I would definitely watch this here. If this breaks, let's call it 375 breaks right here. You guys see it? This is a good level to short it right here. And I'm just grabbing the shelf. I don't care the level. So let's call it 375. You can short below to, let's call it 370. And this should be easy money tomorrow if it does happen. Or you can look for a rejection somewhere, around, you have a 380 rejection probably here waiting to happen. And if that breaks here, it's probably going to the 385. There's this POC here that you guys see accumulated. So that's something I would definitely keep an eye on. Okay. How's futures doing, anyone? Okay. We're going up a little bit. All right. Well, what other stocks you guys have? I think we talked about Amazon. Oh my God.
Yeah, look at the skinny belly on Amazon. Below huh?
This looks like shit.
On the daily, the skinny belly. Oh, what level was it at? Like 2440 or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, so below 2400, I mean, it gets really, really bad. Yeah, this might be a nice area for a bounce. And this here becomes a range. I just like these 3, 4 here. Worst case, this one. Yeah, this looks like a nice demand because, I mean, what did they report? I guess they had a really bad ER or something. So their revenue was in line. So their profits is the problem. Yeah, we're probably headed to about 25, 35, and then if we see weakness, you know what to do here. Yeah, and then you guys, oh my God, yeah, if this starts moving, guys, above this level, 25, 35, yeah, this is going to explode to about 2,700. So safe entry for you would be, let's say, this cloud right here that we have. If you want to go long, you want to wait for, you know, at least 25.50 to be broken. And then literally $200 run will be quick. Be super quick. But look at the 4-hour candle here. This is a pretty good hammer candle in 4 hours if you look at it. It has a nice lower body, nice wick. This is a picture perfect candle actually in terms of ratios for a pin bar candle. Figure out what is going on here. Where is it going? So if it breaks this level here, which is, I mean, they held it. They held it pretty nicely. Came in for that demand. I think honestly it goes up from here. But let's see. I mean, if it breaks this level here, you would watch it. You know, anything below you want short. Let's see how's the daily looking at. That's up.
I mean, you have nice skinny bellies in either direction.
Yep. I mean, it's just finding that level and taking it both ways. I mean, the 25.35 for long. Yeah, I would definitely wait for that 23.43 to break to the short side. Yep. So long here, short here, and then I mean this level here at 3,200 is going to be tested sooner than later. It's been dancing on it for how long? I mean, I'm not going to count it, but there's at least 15 touches here perfectly on this level. So they're going to bring it back to this level, which is about $700. Wait. And you guys know they're doing a split. So remember what we talked about 3 weeks ago when the split was announced? What did I tell you guys that they're going to do? Does anyone recall? Nobody.
I'm pretty sure you said they were gonna like fake pump it and then.
They're going to fake pump it and then they're not going to buy, guys. They're not going to buy. Why would they buy it here? Why would they buy a 20-to-1 split here when they can drop it and buy it at $1,000 less? Right? So just makes sense that they do that. People forget that they have the money, they have the power. So, you know, if you look at the bigger picture right here, how do you hide drawings? Is there a button for hiding drawings? No.
If you just right click, like, yeah, you should see hide drawings.
Maybe not on mine.
No, hang on, let me see. I know there's
It's
a way
on the
to...
left side. Do you see the eyeball on the left side?
Oh yeah, that works too.
In the middle, on the middle. Go
What
to
am I
the
looking
left.
at?
The left sidebar. Underneath.
Go to the left bar. There's the
Right above
trash
the
can.
trash can. Yeah, right above there.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You can choose exactly what it hides.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Thank you. So look at this. I'm on the monthly chart, right? So this is big stuff. So here's a little bit of you crap. So here's a little bit of a skinny belly here. You guys see that, right? And then you get the monster skinny belly, like monster shelf here being created. And you know, what is this right before? And I'm not being a conspiracy theorist, guys, but I just want to show you that you guys don't think that this, by any chance, they knew to accumulate here for this many days or months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So for almost 2 years, you guys don't think that any of this potentially could have been just coincidence, that they accumulated Amazon, then Amazon went almost from the low of 1300. Let's see, where did it go? March. It went to the low of 1600, and then it went to the highs of 3800. Just a coincidence, right? They couldn't have bought all the shares on this pump here. They bought it right here. And somehow magically they created a shelf, as the biggest shelf there is besides, you know, I guess the IPO or whenever Amazon had any value. Just crazy that they did this right before COVID, right? And they did this probably on many other stocks that, if you look at Google, for Google, they accumulated here. So same concept here. Look, I mean, same idea. Just crazy, right? They accumulated from October 17th. It was in this range of 1,200 to 1,000, and then they popped it to $3,000. Yeah, they're just lucky people, I guess. Just lucky. You want to know how to become a millionaire? You buy it at 45 and you sell it at 3,000. Wow, what a return! Whoever did that, look at that. Would anyone be a buyer of Google at 373?
I'll freaking sell my kids to buy shares at 373.
It's a good level. And you guys see here, what is this called? I'm kind of stopping with the stopwatch, so I'm just making sure you guys understand. What is this called here? I'm on 3-day candles here.
I mean, it's
Okay.
consolidation or
So if
supply
you
zone.
accumulated here, and there's our test, right? You guys remember, this is our test right here from the book, right on. This is our test. Then you have bring it back, another test, and then here's your accumulation for, yeah, we're ready for this move higher. So an inducement here, phew, gone. And then they're like, okay, well, we got our shares here at the lowest at 1,000. Why not take 200% and sell it? And then, you know, there's a little mini shelf right here, and then we'll just grab them back again right here. There's a new buyer coming in, and they're gonna buy it. And that's how the stock market always looks like it's going up. Because this buyer here is not gonna buy it here. There's a new guy that didn't buy it here, and he's like, "Oh, that's a good discount from 3,000 to 2,100. I know I can make that." And watch where it's headed, right? So I would say it's probably headed somewhere around here, 2,100. Oh, this has a nice skinny belly now that we're talking about it. So 22.5. So this would be a short level on this guy. Yeah, this is an easy short. Oh my God. Wow. Is this real? Hold on. God, this is at $400? Wow. And it's headed to about 350. Wow. All right.
When's the earnings? Did they already happen?
Oh, it looks like it's, wow, May 5th.
It's gonna go
Thursday, man.
boing.
Though it is going to explode
Yeah.
from here. Yeah, they're gonna, I mean, they've been buying it for this. Yeah, this is gonna explode from here. It's just that none of them been holding earnings, right? If there is a gap up, I mean, if it fails, it's going to 300. I guarantee you, with my life, it's going to this level right here. Like, this will be tested. I think this is fake. Watch this. I think the scenario they do, because they also, I think, announced split. I don't trade shop that much, so I don't know. But they also might have announced a split. So what they might do is make people believe, you know, hey, the 400 is, but they dip it to 3. I might just play 300 puts for fun. And I mean, if they sell it 300, this is a pretty good buy. And what I want to show you guys, look how clean the weekly is, right? When you break something on the weekly, there's really no games, right? You see the break, man, it just continued down. And a lot of people are kind of afraid to play on a bigger time frame because they want to catch the break today and they forget the bigger picture. And if you look at this, I mean, this is a pretty good chart, you know, just for learning purposes. You had a nice channel, and then, I mean, your short level, you know, entry by the book was, you know, right here somewhere at 1,000. Could you have shorted it right here? Because it had like a little demand zone. Could you have shorted here? Yeah, sure. You could have gotten there. Could you short it on the break of the structure right here at 1285? Yeah, definitely you could have. But look what happens when it breaks this. Even the structure and this here just dumped. And then, I mean, here was an easy short. I mean, it created a trap and then a gap all the way to here. And look, they pump it to this. They come back. Now it's in the choppy waters. They're probably buying the shares here, and I'm telling you, they're buying the shares here. They're accumulating here because a lot of people are selling. They found the liquidity zone was probably somewhere around here. This was the liquidity zone right here, and then they're like, okay, well, we'll drop it below 800, no problem. Cut it in half. Give us your shares. Because remember, there's 3 major stock splits. Shop, I believe Google is one of them, Amazon, and Tesla. And if you look across all of those charts, you see major selling on all of them to bring it back down.
The
All right,
three
what chart?
the 300s for shop are gonna be like 120, 150 tomorrow for earnings. But the
I
IV's
think
like
I might just play that.
the IV's like 196.
That's okay. I mean, I'm risking a few bucks. I might play that. All right. Well, what all do you guys have? Any particular stocks? I mean, I think we covered major ones. If you guys want SPX, we can chart SPX. Well, I don't even care if it can't. I'm just looking at these shelves right here. If it breaks that, I'm just going to go and say that this is the level. So tomorrow. And then for anyone that's a little bit more risk averse, you guys see this little final. If you're like, man, I don't want to risk it. Well, this is your level right here. So risky level, less risky level, your target. So either way, you have about 100 points move here happening. And then just pay attention to 30-minute charts. Look for ranges tomorrow. Like these ranges that consolidate, and they usually give you a big move. There's a nice candle here, 365. See if I can catch that one. So that level here, 41.15, will be big. And this right here, do you guys see this? This was perfectly executed on this. Let me show you why I say that. You guys see this liquidity sweep here? Look at this, poop, poop, poop. They pumped it much higher. So the bulls took control right here. The bears wanted to play ping pong right here and then get the liquidity sweep. Well, they lost it, but look what they did here. But nah, screw you guys. This time you're not getting that push. Look at this. Dump it, and now the liquidity sweep is on. So there's a high chance that we go down, quick down to about 4,000, and then the Fed analysis, we're not going to increase rates as much, blah, 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 and then we go, phew.
It looks like they trapped both sides.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely trapped. I mean, let me tell you something. When you have a pin bar like this on a 65-minute candle, I mean, a lot of people will be fairly bearish on this, and then you get a return, and you're like, oh, shit, look, now they're going to run it. And here becomes your break of structure, right? And look, they break it, and they hold zero value when it comes back down. It didn't even bounce on this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like to look at 3-day candles just because it gives me clarity. Oh, wow. So I got this high, this high, this high. So 3-point, look at this, at 40.67 right here. So this would be a really, really nice area for a little bounce play here. So everybody clear on this one? Just fairly clear levels.
Yep.
And for anyone that's a little bit struggling, right? I mean, find one that you like and the one that you can watch tomorrow for, let's say, 5 minutes. You do this. Let's see. If you do this and you find the one that you love, like these guys, this can be your bread and butter. Honestly, just literally keep the orbs. Once they show up at 10 o'clock, right there's 10 o'clock. They rejected that high. Obviously, you wouldn't take that, but once it broke this right here, the orb 50 had the VWAP and the trend bar below it. It's pretty good setup. And then just use common sense, right? Look at this. So you had a nice bear flag. You had a gap down, right? They pushed right below it. And then if you take this, watch where we reject. You guys see where the rejection came?
272.
I mean, right here from the previous day high all the way to the 61.8 of that move, the rejection came kind of like perfectly. Not, it went a little bit over maybe for a trap, but then it came back down nicely from there. And then, if you don't trust anything else, I strongly suggest that you start trusting the trend bar at least, because I think it can help you a lot. Trying to find like a red color, but I guess maybe not. So look here, this is your Ashi candles. Here's a break. If you didn't trust the orb 50, there's your break, right? So you had a break here. I mean, you probably would have taken money on this drop. And then here's a nice flash all the way to 1272. We probably hit 1618 under that, yeah. And there goes the hit, 1618. All of the levels pretty much hit 272, 2618. All of them hit on the dot. So look at this tomorrow. Just look at SPX, and the more confluence points you get, the easier, right? The easier your trade will be. So here's a 5-minute. Let me switch to 30 minutes. And look at this. So tomorrow, if you're able to reclaim this about 41.55, which I don't know how the futures are doing. We're right there right now. ES is at 41.50 right now. And it's most likely going to reject here. So and the reason why I might reject you on an SPX, if you look at this level, You see this level here, 41.86. It has a wick. Look at 41.78 here. So this is your break of structure, and then here's your previous low, which is around 41.63, which wouldn't be a bad trap to trap people in. Then, I use 3-minute candles, as you guys know, for trading. And there's, I mean, on this chart alone, I see at least, I don't know, I see at least 5 setups that I would have taken on this. There's one here. I mean, it's just fairly easy once, your trending day is on. Bear flag, even if you wanted to play it safe, bear flag, boom, take it at 1618. There goes a drop, 1618. The next one, let me just remove this one. This one here, you want to take it. Okay, take it all the way to 1618. There it goes. So if you took it right here, what is this, 42.24, all the way to 41.93 is your last contract that you keep. Always keep one for 41.68. And then you have this one again. There it goes. Nice tap in, nice rejection, 41.69. And it just kept going, honestly, the whole time it kept going. There's a bear flag there. Hopefully you guys are seeing it as I'm doing it. There's a bear flag there. Anytime you have a couple of green candles, you can connect. There's a bear flag here. There's a bear flag there. I mean, I know I'm going too much probably, but there's just so many opportunities here for shorting when you have a nice trending day. And the key is that you let it develop in the morning, right? Let it develop and let it give you, this is the low of the day here, if you look at it, right? So this was your low of the day, but this was also, if you look here, this was your demand zone from the kind of like from the day before. It had a bull flag, and that's where we rejected as well. But I'm only on 3-minute candles, so. Okay. What questions, help do you guys need? Don't be afraid to ask questions.
How far into the day should we be able to identify what kind of trading day it's going to be, like typical or ranging?
Yep. No, it's a good question. So let me just add these day breaks. I know there's a break somewhere. Session break. Okay. Good question. So usually it is set by at least 12:30. It's set. So for me personally, so if you look at this day here, which was a little bit tricky day, this was your typical day here. These vertical lines that you see, the dotted lines, they are each day, right? So if you look at this level, I'm just gonna do the little trick here, high drawings. So here would have been my initial set for the day, which was 42.32. And then you see, honestly, like if I'm looking on 15-minute candles, they closed on it, but there's a lot of wicks. You see the wicks above. And then normally what person would do is they would draw a bullish flag here from the bottom, right? You see the pull, you would have a pull. And then here you would have a flag. But that barely broke, right? It didn't even break the previous high. You would not really take it till the initial balance high is broken. But this would have been my initial balance day high set right here. So sometimes you get it here at 9:45 and the low was set at 10:30, and you see that's a pretty good range, 42.32 to 41.62, so 80 points, and they stayed within that range. Then you see here the opening minutes was your high, 42.42, and then the low was right here at 41.88. So a little bit tighter open than the previous one, right? This was about 80 something points, 86. This open here was, we can even measure that. It was a little lower than that here. So this is what, 54 points total. Let me make sure I'm capturing this correctly. So this is about 54 points. Let's see what the other one was. So this one is 68, which was very close. Something doesn't seem, this one is tighter, yeah. So you see on a typical days, what's a characteristic of a typical day? You have a wide balance. So this balance is much wider. You know, you can use this as a gauge that, you know, 70 is usually a typical day. And here, when it opens below 70 range in the first 15, 30 minutes, it means it might explode higher or lower. So here the day was set higher, 42, 42. So opening range high was here, and opening range low was there. So fairly tighter open than the day before. And then you can kind of test and see how it works the days prior to that. And same here, you see, this was pretty tight open, but they didn't set the low stage till 11:45. So this would have been your initial balance low, and this was your initial balance high right here. I guess maybe right here, this candle. And then it honestly stayed in a, you know, almost stayed in a, like a typical day. It didn't really do much. It came back and retested. So usually till 11:30, you should get a signal what the market's doing, whether it's typical, extended typical, usually you won't know. It will look like a typical day till about, let me see. So this one didn't break. This was a trending day. Okay, so here's your, let me see if I didn't lose it. Okay, so here's your, where was it, man? Or maybe I lost. Try and find an extended typical day here. So this was a sideways day. This is a no trade day. We haven't really had an extended typical here. This is a trending day. Trending day up, trending day down. How crazy is that? Those are tough to trade, you guys know, because these are major reversals. And not a lot of people, they have a bias that we're going to go higher. But usually between, you know, 9:30, 11:30, latest 12, you should be able to tell the range of the day. And then just kind of knowing your stock that you're trading, the levels it opens. Like you see this open fairly tight. So it consolidated, you know, super tight here, and then it exploded from it. So those are some of the things that I look at.
Okay, thank you.
B trades, you said Friday you called a big move and SPY was coming around 3:30. So if you look at SPY, right, same here. So this was April 28. Let me make sure I have the right date. I think that was a Thursday, right? So April 28, you know, they pumped it really, really well. It was a nice trending day. And then the 29th, I mean, they dumped it. They had a really good, you know, not year, I'm sorry, movement here at the open. And then you see, you know, from 10:45 till about, what is this? I would say 12:30, this right here. So till 1:30, they didn't really make a decision. And then they kept the low of the day here. Didn't really break it till about 2:15. And then, you know, the bloodbath started. So the reason why they would do this is to get people to buy more calls, and then they dump it at the end of the day and take your value away. The way you can sense that is by looking at, you know, we have those, I actually remodeled all of it, but you have the Orbit Daily, which tells you the value of the contracts, right? If you look at those, sometimes you will see the max pain, right? Where is the max pain that they're looking at? Well, if the calls, if they're trying to kill the puts here, right? So they're like, okay, well, let's kill the puts here. We can't handle it anymore. And they did a pretty good job, right? So here, they demolished all the puts. Let me delete this. So demolished all the puts by ripping higher. What do you think people did here on Thursday afternoon? Well, most likely what they did is that they bought calls that we were going to go to about 435 or 450s or whatnot, right? Well, how do they make money is when you do the opposite of them, right? So if you're playing along with the market makers, you make money. If you're playing against them, there's a high chance that you're gonna lose money. And that's what I was expecting, because I knew this rejection was here at 430, and I knew that they are gonna kill these calls immediately. And that's why I said, shorting this is next leg down. But I expected a little bit more chop to drain it, but they said, no, there's too many calls. We need to kill the value faster. So they kill the value pretty fast. And you can expect usually you only have about 4 trending days in a month. You usually never more than 4 or 5 trending days in a month. So if you go look at the stuff, on higher time frames, you'll be able to tell, what really happens, in what days. When it's consolidating for longer periods of time, you're able to kind of tell the bigger move is coming. So that's how I anticipate the stuff, right? And then you can also use like your time periods. If you look at this, between, let's say, between this high and this high, how long did it take? And I'm on the daily, right? So if I look at this, it takes about 44 bars, so about 63 days here, or 44 trading days it took here. So then, if you do the same concept, I'm looking at the next high right here, it's 41 bars that it took. Then I'm kind of looking like, okay, well, from here, what did it take to create a new low? So for me, it's 20 bars to take a new low. And then again, from here, which is a double top, to here, 16 bars. So to create a new low, it's taking less time than it is to create a new high here, for instance. And then from here to here, it should be, let's see, they're making 20 days. So usually when I see this, I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, well, this doesn't make sense. This move doesn't seem to be a real move, because usually it takes about 40 days if they're going to really make it. So it should be somewhere, if I was expecting a move, should be somewhere around here. And kind of like right now, they should be pushing this right now. We should be bouncing based on the time periods that they had before, about 40 bars each to set a new high and so on. And you can dice it and slice it any way you like. But I look at the time periods and the events when they occur and kind of time it. So from like the bottom of this is pretty valuable. So from the bottom of this to the top took 23 bars. And then if you look at it from the top to the bottom, how long did it take? You guys see that? That's exactly the same. So I usually pay attention to something like this. So for me, I think we get a bounce here. We get a strong bounce here. I think they're going to lay off some of the increases on the Fed rates just because the economy is already slowing down on its own. People don't have money to spend it. They're over leveraged, overutilizing credit. So I really don't see a reason why they would increase rates more. The mortgages are already hurting. eBay, yeah, let's look at eBay. It has a huge bear flag on a monthly here. So I mean, it does not look good. 49.53 breaks. I mean, this has potential, to go all the way to the next demand. Let's find out where that is. Oh yeah. I mean, if this breaks, you're going all the way to about 43 here, which would be your first stop. So you could have, I mean, this looks good short. So 43, and then you have 38 right below that, which I think would be, this would take about, they have earnings. Oh. And you got me with this one. This is the earnings. Did I read that? May 4th? Yeah, if it reverses, I would watch this for rejection here. I would watch that level 55 for rejection if it reverses off of the bottom up here. You could get a bounce here, so just be usually these triangles. If you think, excuse me, if you think about this, so if you think about this, you're probably gonna get somewhere around here, which would make sense, right? That we get this. So I would watch this tomorrow. I mean, I would definitely short it below this level. How did they do their last earnings? Oh, okay. They're going to get destroyed on earnings. They had slight surprises before. Well, I don't know who goes to eBay now to process some of that, even though they got Venmo. And Venmo's hurting because I would say those government new rules would hurt them and deter people from using it.
You check Oxy, Shorty?
Yep.
It has earnings on May 10th, just so you know.
Oxy does?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely watch for a rejection here. This would be my rejection zone on this right here. Does that help? Let me see who asked. Kana, does that work?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oxy. I guess I had this one charted before, huh?
Oh, our levels are lining up. 272 fib is at like 48.26. Off that bear flag.
Yeah, 53.30. I was short it. Can't tell if this is a distribution phase. Let me see. Or a read accumulation phase right here. No, this looks like a reaccumulation here. You know, I had Oxy at this level here, about $9.
Oh, that's sick.
I had Oxy super cheap. And just like anything else that we talked about, so here's your accumulation, right? You guys see how well. And remember earlier, just refresher, we had the accumulation like this, and a lot of people would have said there's no way it comes back to that level, right? Who would say, man, it's at 110, what's the odds that it's going to go to $8? How many of you say, man, there's no fucking way? Come on, probably all of you. Well, let me show you something, right? We looked at a stock earlier. $147, not out of picture. 60, not out of picture. You want to accumulate right here? Cool. We haven't visited that level. So don't think just because it's at 300, 400 doesn't have anywhere to go, because here. It can go lower. Like this guy, this is ready to die again. Below 75, guys, this is done. This is going to all-time low, like $23. Because if they drove it off of this tiny little demand that they had, you guys see this? They drove it off of this demand, tiny here, all the way up. They can also drive it all the way down what is this? Another $50? What's $50 from 75 when they can drop it from 400 to 75? Yeah, this is for instance headed lower. But we looked at Google earlier. I think it was the same setup, right? So here's your accumulation, right? We've honestly never been to this level of 1300 again. So now if you look at Oxy, doesn't it look the same? When I kind of go back to, let's go 1 month. Here's your 1 month chart. We literally never came back to this level, and then all of a sudden COVID happened, and you're back to this level. But here, have you ever visited 373?
Nope.
No. Don't say it can't happen, because it can happen.
I'll be selling my kids.
I'll buy your kids. I'm just kidding. Whoever's listening.
You want to buy the?
Yeah, I will not.
You want to buy the smart one?
Yeah, I'll just buy the smart ones, ready that they can sleep through the night.
The one that's doing algebra at 7.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that guy.
You can buy him.
Going once, $200. All right, cool. But yeah, so don't think stock market can do something. Stock market is unpredictable, right? And if you guys, did anyone watch that Wolf on the Wall Street or whatever with Leonardo DiCaprio? When what's his Matthew McConaughey tells him, like, who knows what the market's gonna do? Our goal is not to make money for ourselves, but is to take the money from our investors and put it into our pockets. That's what he told them in the movie. And if you guys think that's not true, then you guys need a reality check in life. They love when people come in and they buy ETFs and S&P 500. You put in $1 million, like, yeah, buy S&P 500. They're like, okay, thank you. We'll make a couple of $1 million, and then we'll put your $1 million in S&P 500, and we'll short S&P 500 and take your money, and then we'll flip it with our money and buy back up. Pretty good cycle, right? So same concept here. I just want to make sure you guys do not judge that it can't go lower. It can go a lot lower, and I think SHOP was a prime example of stuff can go much lower, right? I mean, look at this. So if you look at, anchored VWAP, let's say from IPO, I'm just going to put it here. We are below anchored VWAP from IPO. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. Like, you're breaking it. Yeah, that's a really, really big deal that we broke that level. So where is the firm? Is it a 20? Yeah, 28. Yeah. And the same will happen to UPST.
What happened to Oxy?
I'm sorry. Did we get away from it?
You got totally sidetracked.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just want to tell people that, because Oxy went to $8, man. That's, when you think about it, that's unheard of. Right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, it went to low as 854. And now, I mean, this looks like definitely like a bull flag. I mean, look at the 3-day consolidation here.
Yeah.
If you're going to play by the rules, you don't really touch it till this is broken to the up or downside.
You also
by
have
the rules.
You also have a bear flag on the 1 day.
Let's look at 1 day. Yeah, we have a nice bear flag on the daily. Oh, yeah. But overall, when you look at it now, you go on the monthly, and it's like, okay, well, man, this looks pretty powerful, but the indecision candle here doesn't help it. And weekly consolidating. So honestly, I was shorted below 53, and it has room to drop. And I know Warren Buffett's been buying it, so there's that factor as well. As much people hate him, he still knows how to invest.
If you drop fibs on the daily bear flag, it lines up with that 47 whatever. The 272 lines up with that like $48 range you have there. 40, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is highly probable here. I would say, yeah, this here below that. And it's a good point to take. I mean, below, 53 all the way to about, even if it's 50, $3 on Oxy will pay nicely. And that's how you just have to know the stock movements and how the options pay as well. I traded one time Verizon and I almost want to shoot myself. Like I bought 3 month out puts and it would drop $7 and I would make 12% on the options. And I'm like, come on, man, like what is this crap? So that's when you become a little bit picky what stocks you're playing. So you learn their personalities and then you learn how to trade them. And eventually, I promise you will learn how to stay focused on it and literally have a plan, from tonight. If, Oxy and let's say eBay was your favorite setup, well, there. You have two scenarios for eBay. Either you break 49.53 or you go to 55 and you reject and you take a short there and your stop loss is, let's say, 55.75 or 55.89. That's your stop loss. And then you're able to calculate, right? Oh, well, I'm going in the long position. Where's my little long thingy? Maybe I don't have it. Or short position. I'm going in a short position on the rejection here, and my stop loss is right here, and your first reward would be here. So 5-to-1 trade. I mean, anyone doesn't like this trade, we need to take you to the mental hospital because this is a good trade. This is a perfect trade, guys. To 5-to-1 ratio, you take any time of day. And that's pretty much how I play it. But please, for tomorrow and for the next couple of months till we're look for the confluence points. Guys, it's the easiest. Literally, I mean, I don't think there's an easier system to make money right now than using 3 confluence points. And your confluence points, and I know I saw some conversations from others. It can be orbs, it can be trend bar, it can be the VWAP, it can be a trend line that you have here. So for instance, let's say I was playing this and tomorrow the orb 50 is lined up perfectly at 52.33 and it's breaking, and well, of course I take that. Trend line is 1, let's say VWAP is around, that's 2, and you look for the third one. Once you have the third one, you got 3 things on your side technically telling you, right? And then if you look at any candles and confirmations, whether it's a hammer or a really bullish candle, you see it like here, you see an inverse hammer and then it broke below this. That's your pretty much short side to, hey, go short here at 52, and then it went all the way to whatever, it went to 51.
Don't forget
But
volume.
Oh yeah, definitely volume. You can use that as you get more comfortable. But until you guys read Anna Cooling book and a few others that I recommended, you need to learn that volume a little bit more. And we've covered it many times, but you need to learn anomalies, the breakouts, the volume, the confirmations, the selling and buying climaxes to make sure you understand that from the volume perspective. And literally, it's the best book you'll read about volume. And we posted that, I believe, under the books. It's there. Everyone should read that book. Like, there's not a reason why you should not read that book. I'll definitely urge everyone to read it, but it's your choice. Okay. All right, guys. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, I will be on tomorrow sporadically. Tomorrow is a big holiday for Muslim world. They have Eid Mubarak tomorrow, so Earth will probably not be there all day, or maybe not even trade. I'll be in, but I'm going to some family and friends' houses tomorrow as well. So I'll be in and out, but I'll do my best. That's why I tried to cover the watch list and give you guys some ideas. Stay focused tomorrow. Watch for 3 confluence points. We covered major levels that you need on ES, SPX. We do have the clouds as well, so use those. 4150 holds on ES. There's a strong chance we're going to that, 4190, 4200 level. So keep that in mind tomorrow. And then 1381 is, if you guys recall that, is super, super important on NQ. Anything above 3081, we're going to 13.2. Above 13.2, you go to 13.3. Above 13.3, you go to 13.4. Wow, 13.487, almost 200 move. So as simple as that. And the momentum trend bar, you guys just use it. put it on 5 minutes, put ASCII or regular candles. When you see it pop up, just trust it. And if you guys don't believe me, I mean, I traded SPX off of it. Here, I'm trying to bring it over. Coming. And you guys see here, 5 minutes, candle showed up. Look at this. I mean, it was almost 100 points drop from. Guys, it's a pretty good trend bar, and I included it for everyone in the chat and in the Discord to have it. And most people don't give stuff like that away for anyone for free. So I mean, just use it because I think it's pretty powerful. And let me see. No. So this one, no. Let's see what did ES do on it now. So look at this. There goes ES. I think I'm gonna recode it to bring this freaking candle a little bit higher. It drives me crazy. So there goes the entry right here. If you're playing it off the break of the candle, 14.133 was your break. I mean 14.15 so far. You could have made decent profits on even on futures with that, but holding about 1400, 14.150 is gonna be fairly important. So this level here will be fairly important level. You want to stay above this, and it seems like, you know, this is our pre-market high for the day. Let's see if we take that out. And then if we lose this, then you go to the 41.37, which is your previous day close, and then your previous day lows here. So if you break this tomorrow, there's a high chance you're going to go to the bottom here. And then if you break this, then you guys know where we're going because we just covered it. We just said on ES, said, where's the short below? Friday's below. So we had the 41.29 here. Then SPX, I think it was 41.15. Yeah, 41.15.71 is our short level. Yeah. But I think we're going to get a bounce, this low skinny belly here, all the way to 41.60s, which is where ES is right now. ES just tapped, you know, 41.53 here. So, and it seems like, yeah, 41.60 will be a nice range here. You guys see it? Even the consolidation there on 5 minutes. So let's see, 41.60-ish breaks, then you get 4,200 for sure. And just make sure you chart all your epochs on your chart so you have it. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna call it a day. It's almost midnight my time here. So if you have any questions, please ask them in the chat. You have catching rockets. You have people that are, you know, they've grown to be good traders. So, and if you don't ask the questions, you're just hurting yourselves, guys. You honestly need to. And the more you ask questions in public, maybe you're answering a question that somebody else might have as well. So I think it would be selfish if you're only asking for yourself. You know, I don't mind answering personal messages, but it's better if you get the responses from others. Some other people might have give you a different view. It's almost, to me, the way I see it, you know, if you're, you know, I was a pretty math-based child, and I never understood why teachers forced me to do one problem only one way. I always wondered, why can I not find another way? And that's how I became good at math, is that I found different ways to do stuff. And same with trading. Just because Shorty does it this way, that doesn't mean that you have to do it this way. Go look what somebody else does. Me and Earth trade same concept. She's a scalper. I'm a day trader, and there's a difference. You know, we trade slightly different styles, but that doesn't mean neither one of us is wrong. We both are profitable traders. So
really quick,
that's
Shorty.
the least.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
No worries.
The I don't, just interesting on ES and NQ on 30-day, 30-minute, the trend bar popped up bullish. But also
Oh,
on NQ 30-day, 30-minute, it's setting up for a bearish full send.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, but this one, we're gonna get a push here, guys. We're gonna get a push to about 4,200 tomorrow. Let me see, where's this?
On NQ, I don't know. The full send will probably trigger right around 1,300-ish. I'm guessing bearish.
I mean, this is where your rejection. Rejection is coming right here tomorrow, and you guys can pin this tomorrow if you like. I'll just write it here. Let me know when this hits right here. It'll be 42.10.
That trend bar is nuts. Just nuts.
Oh yeah, dude. You talking about the momentum one?
Yeah, your new one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. It does not miss, guys. I'm seriously, it does not freaking miss.
Like right now,
I
like
mean,
I said, they're both on ES and NQ 30-minute, and it's like, it's been ripping up.
Yep. No, I mean, I think it looks solid. What's another stuff? Qs. There's Qs also. You know, at the end of the day, they'll swell just now. I guess they gave the Qs signal to go, and it's hitting the Friday's POC right here
Yeah.
on the dot.
No surprise.
Yeah. Can't type today for some reason. And then if you look at the Qs that we just charted, what did we say? Where is it gonna go? Did we say 13,579? Then I just say that a moment ago. You just hit it. Fun stuff. If you're not comfortable, knowledge seeker goes. I definitely use Ashi so you get a little bit more comfortable, so you don't get faked out, and then later on you can switch to regular candles for a price action, or just keep two charts, one Ashi's, one regular. Yeah, we're gonna rip tomorrow, guys. So if it breaks 316, as we talked about, I think we said 316.37 breaks tomorrow, we're going to 320. So just know that. Easy money tomorrow.
Nice.
I think it'll be a trending day tomorrow, just FYI.
Even nicer.
Yeah, so if it does happen, just be cautious. It's going to be volatile because of the FMOC. And I'll post the calendar. I don't know if Jag is on. He can post it if he has it as well. Bye, guys. Well, thank you, and good luck tomorrow. If I'm not on, I'll try to do my best to get on in between family and friends. So we'll stay in touch tomorrow.
Thanks, Shorty.
All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good night.